Topic 2, Lesson 5, Severe Weather and Floods. Our guiding questions are, how does severe weather affect human life? How do humans protect themselves from severe weather? Please highlight those guiding questions. Our vocabulary will be storm, thunderstorm, hurricane, tornado, storm surge, flood, drought, approximate. I've already numbered my paragraphs. As we go along, please number your paragraphs in your book as you follow along. Page 83, paragraph 1, types of severe storms. In October 2016, Hurricane Matthew struck the Caribbean and the southeastern United States with torrential rains and winds that reached approximate speeds of 250 kilometers per hour. Shown in the satellite image in Figure 1, it was one of the most intense storms ever to hit that part of the United States. Paragraph 2. The death toll due to Hurricane Matthew surpassed 1,000, with most of those deaths occurring in Haiti. In the United States, approximately 40 people died, more than half of those in North Carolina. Florida did not receive the extremely strong winds that some areas did, but the hurricane dropped between 7 and 10 inches of rain in the eastern half of the state. Paragraph 3. In addition to casualties, property damage from the hurricane was extreme. Many areas were battered by winds or flooded for days. Many buildings were blown down and roads washed away. Paragraph 4. A hurricane is one example of a storm. A storm is a violent disturbance in the atmosphere. Storms involve sudden changes in air pressure, which cause rapid air movements and often precipitation. There are several types of severe storms: winter storms, thunderstorms, hurricanes, and tornadoes. Figure 1. Hurricane Matthew. This satellite image shows Hurricane Matthew swirling north of Cuba and beginning to engulf the Florida Peninsula. Page 84, paragraph 5, winter storms. In the winter, in the northern United States, most of the precipitation that occurs is in the form of snow. If the air is colder than 0 degrees Celsius, that's 32 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way to the ground, the precipitation falls as snow. Heavy snow can block roads, trap people in their homes, and delay emergency vehicles. Extreme cold can cause water pipes to burst. Paragraph 6. Some places, such as Erie, Pennsylvania, get more snow than other places relatively close by. In an average winter, nearly 118 inches of snow fall on these cities due to lake effect snow, as shown in Figure 2. Please take a look at Figure 2. Figure 2, lake effect snow. This map shows the snow totals after a certain winter storm. The higher totals are a result of lake effect snow. Draw arrows on the map to represent the wind blowing across the lakes. Please take a moment, pause the recording, and draw some arrows on the map. Thank you for finishing that and coming back. Paragraph 7. In the fall and winter, the land near the Great Lakes cools much more rapidly than the water in the lakes. When a cold, dry air mass moves southeast across the lakes, it picks up water vapor and heat. As soon as the air mass reaches the other side of the lake, the air rises and cools again. The water vapor condenses and falls as snow. Paragraph 8. Some winter storms are more intense than others. In February 1978, a huge blizzard hit the northeastern United States. During this storm, weather stations recorded hurricane-force winds and record-breaking amounts of snow. The storm hovered over New England, and heavy snow fell for almost 33 hours without letting up. Paragraph 9. People driving on highways abandoned their cars when the snow became too deep. Rescuers traveled on cross-country skis and snowmobiles to help stranded drivers. It was almost a week until the roads opened again. Page 85, paragraph 10. Thunderstorms. Spring and summer are often associated with clear, warm weather, but they are also the times when hazardous thunderstorms can form. Paragraph 11. A thunderstorm is a localized storm often accompanied by heavy precipitation, frequent thunder, and dangerous lightning. It usually forms when warm air carrying lots of moisture is forced upward along a cold front. The warm, humid air rises rapidly, forming dense thunderheads. Thunderstorms can bring heavy rain and hail. Paragraph 12. During a thunderstorm, positive and negative electrical charges build up and discharge in the thunderheads. Lightning occurs as these charges jump between parts of a cloud, between nearby clouds, or between a cloud and the ground, all of which are shown in Figure 3. Figure 3. Thunder and lightning. Lightning strikes can cause severe damage during thunderstorms. Paragraph 13. The loud booms of thunder that can keep us up at night are produced when lightning heats the air near it to as much as 30,000 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than the sun's surface. The rapidly heated air expands explosively, creating the shock wave we call thunder in the surrounding air as it is compressed. Paragraph 14. Thunderstorms can cause severe damage. Their heavy rains may flood low-lying areas. Large hailstones ruin crops, damage property such as cars and windows, and may even cause fatalities to people and animals out in the open. Lightning strikes start fires and damage structures, or sometimes just the electrical equipment within a structure. If lightning strikes a person, it can cause unconsciousness, serious burns, and even death. Please remember that as I read, you should be following along. We will begin paragraph 15 shortly. Please be ready to follow along if you have not been. Paragraph 15. Hurricanes. When a cyclone's winds exceed 119 kilometers per hour, we call it a hurricane. A hurricane can stretch more than 600 kilometers across, and it may have winds as strong as 320 kilometers per hour. In the western Pacific Ocean, these storms are called typhoons. When they occur in the Indian Ocean, they're simply known as cyclones. Paragraph 16. A typical hurricane that strikes the United States forms in the Atlantic Ocean, north of the equator during the late summer. It begins as a low-pressure area, or tropical disturbance, over ocean water warmed by solar radiation. Paragraph 17. A hurricane draws its energy from the warm, humid air near the warm ocean surface. This air rises, forming clouds and drawing surrounding air into the area, as shown in Figure 4. Bands of heavy rains and high winds spiral inward toward the area of lowest pressure at the center. The lower the air pressure at the center of the storm, the faster the winds blow toward it. Formation of a hurricane, Figure 4. Draw arrows to show how warm, humid air rises to form clouds and how winds spiral toward the area of low pressure. Hit the pause button, draw your arrows, and come back afterwards to listen to paragraph 18. Thank you for coming back. Hopefully you got those arrows drawn. Paragraph 18. Please make sure you're following along as I read. Hurricane winds are strongest in a narrow band or ring of clouds at the storm's center called the eye wall, which encloses the storm's eye. When the eye arrives, the weather changes suddenly, growing calm and clear. After the eye passes, the storm resumes, but the winds blow from the opposite direction. Paragraph 19. Hurricanes often result in severe flooding. which in turn contaminates drinking water supplies. Wind damage and severe flooding often mean that travel after the storm will be difficult. Residents of hurricane-prone areas are encouraged to stock a 3-day supply of drinking water, ready-to-eat food, and any other necessary items such as medications or diapers to help them through the aftermath of a hurricane. Page 87, paragraph 20. How hurricanes move. Hurricanes are long-lasting storms, existing for a week or more. They can travel thousands of kilometers from where they originally formed. Hurricanes that form in the Atlantic Ocean are usually steered by easterly trade winds toward the Caribbean islands, and then up toward the southeastern and eastern United States, as was Hurricane Sandy in 2012, figure 5. Once a hurricane passes overland, it loses its energy source, warm, moist air. If the hurricane doesn't travel over another source of warm, moist air to fuel it, it will gradually weaken. Paragraph 21. When a hurricane makes landfall, high waves, severe flooding, and wind damage often accompany it. A hurricane's low pressure and high winds can raise the level of the water in the ocean below it by as much as 6 meters above normal sea level. That would be about 15 to 20 feet. The result is a storm surge, a dome of water that sweeps across the coast where the hurricane is traveling. Storm surges can cause great damage, destroying human-made structures as well as coastal ecosystems. Something to think about is your reading check. Why don't hurricanes form in oceans in northern latitudes of the world? Page 88, paragraph 22. Tornadoes. Thunderstorms can lead to something even more dangerous than heavy rains, flooding, or hail. Under certain conditions, they can also generate tornadoes. A tornado is an extremely fast-spinning column of air extending from the base of a thunderstorm to Earth's surface. Tornadoes tend to be brief, intense, and destructive. While a tornado may touch the ground for 15 minutes or less and be only a few hundred meters across, its wind speed can exceed 300 kilometers per hour. Paragraph 23. Most tornadoes develop in the late afternoon during spring and early summer, when the ground tends to be warmer than the air above it. The ground absorbs solar radiation more quickly than air, so the ground warms faster than the air. Paragraph 24. Tornadoes occur throughout the United States. However, the Great Plains have a weather pattern that spawns more tornadoes there than any other parts of the country. When a cold, dry air mass moving south from Canada encounters a warm, humid air mass moving north from the Gulf of Mexico, the colder, denser air pushes under the warmer air mass, forcing it to rise. Warm ground can turbocharge this process by releasing some of the heat it absorbed from the sun. This extra heat forces the air above to rise even faster. An area of low pressure develops and rapidly draws surrounding air inward and up. This fast-moving air rotates as it rises and forms a funnel. If the funnel touches Earth's surface, it becomes a tornado. Paragraph 25. Tornado damage comes from both strong winds and the flying debris those winds carry. Tornadoes can move large objects and scatter debris many miles away. The Fujita scale, shown in Figure 6, allows meteorologists to categorize tornadoes based on the amount and type of damage they cause. Only about 1% of tornadoes is ranked as F4 or F5. In 2007, the original Fujita scale was replaced by the enhanced Fujita scale to more closely align high wind speeds with the types of damage they typically cause to structures. Figure 6. Use the image to rate the damage shown by circling a rating on the Fujita scale. Where do you think this damage rates? This is your Fujita scale. An F0 is broken branches broken off of trees. F1, mobile homes are overturned. F2, trees uprooted. F3, roofs torn off. F4, houses leveled. F5, houses carried away. Keep in mind, if you were to rate something an F3, that means it could be damaged from F3 all the way through F0. It includes everything from there down. Page 89, paragraph 26. Floods and drought. Storms are not the only type of hazardous severe weather. Floods, droughts, and excessive heat can occur in many different areas in the United States. Paragraph 27. Floods. Flooding is a major danger during severe storms, such as the one shown in Figure 7. A flood is an overflowing of water in a normally dry area. Some floods occur when excess water from rain or melting snow overflows in a stream or river. In urban areas, floods occur when the ground can't absorb any water because it is already saturated. Figure 7. Flood damage. In 2012, as Sandy made landfall, the hurricane lost strength and became a post-tropical cyclone, causing heavy damage from flooding. Paragraph 28. Dams and levees are used to control flooding near rivers. A dam is a barrier across a river that may redirect the flow of the river or store floodwaters so that they can be released slowly. An embankment built along a river to prevent flooding of the surrounding land is a levee. Paragraph 29. Droughts and excessive heat. Having too little water can also cause problems. A long period with little or no rainfall is known as a drought. Drought is caused by hot, dry weather systems that stay in one place for weeks or months at a time. Long-term droughts can lead to crop failures and wildfires. Streams, reservoirs, and wells dry up, causing shortages of water for homes, businesses, plants, and animals. People can help lessen the impacts of drought by conserving water. Paragraph 30. The excessive heat caused by heat waves can also be harmful to people. Prolonged exposure to heat and the sun can cause skin damage, heat stroke, and dehydration. To prevent overexposure to the sun, wear protective clothing, sunglasses, and sunscreen, and avoid direct sunlight between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Reading check. Something to think about. What are 2 ways to help prevent floods? Based on what you've read, can you answer this question? Page 90, paragraph 31. Storm safety. When potentially dangerous storms are likely, weather announcements indicate where there is a storm watch and where there is a storm warning. A watch means that conditions are right for producing severe weather, but the severe weather has not yet developed. A warning signifies that severe weather is approaching and people should take shelter. Figure 8 shows the precautions people should take for each type of severe storm. Severe storm safety. Figure 8. Different severe storms require different safety measures. Tornado. If you hear a tornado warning, go to a safe area quickly. Move to the middle of the ground floor. Stay away from windows and doors. Winter storm. Winter storms can limit your vision and make it easy to get lost. Strong winds cool bodies rapidly. Stay or get indoors and keep a supply of water and food on hand in case of a power outage. Thunderstorms. Get and stay indoors. If in a car, it's safe to stay there. But if you are outside, find a low area away from trees, fences, and poles. If you are swimming or in a boat, get to shore and find shelter. Hurricanes. Today, weather satellites can track and warn people well in advance of an approaching hurricane. You should be prepared to evacuate or move away temporarily. If you hear a hurricane warning and are told to evacuate, leave the area immediately. Reading check. Something to think about. What safety precautions are common to all types of severe weather? Based on what we've read, can you answer this question?